morning, boys and girls. So the last time we talked about wind erosion, and remember, the wind erosion is what caused my sandhill to have a lot of crevices or indentations, and wind erosion is very powerful, and it carries the debris or the rocks and puts them in a different place. So I want you to watch a quick video about weathering and erosion.
I'm Dr. Jeff Inicker, and today we'll explore the science of weathering and erosion. With Dr. Jeff.
Dr. Jeff, you said that the cracks in the sidewalk were caused by weathering. What is that?
Weathering is when the Earth's surface is broken down into smaller pieces. Then, those pieces are moved in a process called erosion and deposited somewhere else.
But how could you break solid rock?
Great question, Zoe. Let's break it down. Don't try this at home. For this part, I'm going to need a sock? Wait, what? Bert, that's not what I asked for. Oops. That was my favorite pair.
Dr. Jeff, I'm sure you have what you need in your lab coat.
You're probably right. A lock? A clock? A brock? Ah, here it is. A rock. Now, what's something that could easily be carried by wind?
Maybe sand?
That's right. Wind can throw sand and dust against rock. To show you what that can do to a rock over time, I'm going to use this sand blaster. This will create the effect of powerful wind with tiny pieces of sand in it. But as you can see, this is about to get very messy, so we got to go outside. Hey kids, you want to watch this whole episode and more? Tell your teacher to sign up at GenerationGenius.com. We cover all science topics in grades 3 to 5.
Okay, so when he was using the sand and he was blowing it onto that rock, did you notice that it was causing a hole in that big rock? So that is what wind erosion can do. And if you look at all these pictures here, these are all caused by wind erosion. So over a long period of time, when those particles are hitting another object, this is what can happen. You have different shapes that are formed. So today's experiment, I am going to go ahead and show you what water erosion can do to sand. So right here I have a mound of sand, right? I'm going to take my cup off, and there's my sand. Looks like a little hill, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place 40 drops of water on my sand hill. Now look at my sand hill. It's pretty packed. You know, if you look closely, there is a little crevice right here, and that's okay. But otherwise, it's pretty well packed tight. There's no really holes or anything in it. So here I go. I'm going to do 40 drops. Count with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I need more water. Hold on a minute. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. So now I'm going to show you the top of my sand hill. Look what just happened. Can you see that? Do you see that there's a little hole in it right here? So that water started to get absorbed in my sand, and it formed this hole. So over time, if you see, if I continue to add water to my sandhill, it eventually would just have complete holes in it and probably eventually collapse because it wouldn't be able to handle the water. So I'm going to read you a story, and it's titled Weathering and Erosion by Tori Maloof. Remember, here's our table of contents, and the table of contents is the name of the chapters and what page they're on. So, ever-changing Earth. The shape and look of Earth's surface changes over time. It never stops changing. Rivers bend, shorelines wear away, valleys grow deeper, canyons grow wider, mountains break down. These changes can be caused by the blowing wind, or they can be the result of running water. Ice can cause these changes too. Earth's surface has changed a lot over the years and continues to do so. This is a picture of Mount Valley in Colorado. And then over here, this is the Seven Sisters Cliffs in England. Pretty cool, isn't it? Wind, water, and more. Imagine a fierce storm. Rain pours. Wind blows wildly. What do you think the rain and wind do to the Earth's surface? Yeah, they change it. The wind can loosen small bits of dirt and dust. Drip by drip, the rain can wear down a mountain. This process is called weathering. So this is a picture of a snowstorm right here. And then over here, you have a tornado is a rotating cloud that has winds that reach up to 300 miles per hour. So right up here, you just have normal rain happening, and then down here, you have tropical rain happening. And as you can see, the difference. Over time, wind and rain wear down Earth's surface. They break it into small pieces. These pieces are called sediment. Wind and water then move the sediment, or rocks, guys. That's what sediment is, just tiny pieces of rock. They carry it away. This movement is a process known as erosion. Weathering and erosion can happen at the same time. They work together to change Earth's surface. So weathering and erosion are changing this mountainside, and small rocks such as these are easily carried away by the river. Wild waters. Sediment can blow into streams and rivers. It moves with the water on its way to the ocean. It carves into hills. It cuts into mountains. This is how valleys are made. It is also how canyons are made. The Grand Canyon was made this way. The Grand Canyon is huge. It is 446 kilometers long, and it is 2.6 kilometers deep. A river carved the massive canyon. It took millions of years. And the Grand Canyon runs through in Arizona, and the Colorado River runs through the Grand Canyon. Now, a glacier, like we talked about before, is a very large sheet of ice and snow. It moves slowly down a slope, and as it moves, it cuts into the nearby rocks. Over time, the glacier melts. The water carves out large valleys. One such valley is called Yosemite Valley. A very long time ago, there were glaciers in Yosemite. These glaciers help make a beautiful place to visit. Says sunny California. It is hard to imagine sunny California covered in ice, but millions of years ago, it was. So over here we have Yosemite Valley. Might have been carved by a glacier like this one here. And here's Yosemite Valley, which is in California. All right, so I'm going to stop there for now. Okay, now I'm just going to show you a short video about what erosion is, so pay attention, please.
Landforms are all around us. In fact, almost everything you see on top of the earth is one type of landform or another. But it's important to note that landforms can only be called landforms if nature created them. So, a building, not a landform. A fire truck, not a landform. No, not a landform. But a beach, a sea step, a slot canyon, and this canyon are all different types of landforms. Well, one thing is for sure. All the landforms we see today have been shaped by water. That's almost water we drink from a water fountain is able to create all of this, and even this. How, oh how does water do it? Well, there's actually a name for this process. When water cuts and carves the surface of the earth into different looking landforms. Let's find out what the name is, shall we? Well, there you have it. Landforms look the way they do because of erosion. Think of erosion like this. Imagine a lollipop. If you toss a lollipop into your mouth and suck on it for a really long time, the lollipop begins to get smaller and smaller. That's because your tongue slowly wears down the surface of the lollipop by removing little tiny pieces. Well, the surface of the earth is just like the surface of a lollipop, but instead of a tongue, Mother Nature uses rain. It also uses wind and ice. But we'll stick to the wet stuff for now. So think of it this way. Every time it rains, it's just Mother Nature licking the planet, like a lollipop. With all that rain flowing over the surface of the earth, the water slowly licks away pieces of sand, soil, and rock. Rivers and streams carry the tiny pieces downstream, eventually reaching the ocean. And that, my friends, is erosion. So-wee.
Okay. Okay, boys and girls, so for your assignment today, I want you to tell me what is one landform that water erosion can form. So you're going to type it in the text entry box, and don't forget to submit your assignment. Have a good day. Bye.